Panther family, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Mac, and I'm so excited to be back after a short little holiday break there. Speaking of that, I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday with your friends and family and were able to spend some quality time with each other and even celebrate some landmark wins for our Panthers. We had a bowl win. Our women's basketball team went up to Clemson and beat a Power Five team. We obviously got some good basketball wins as well. And speaking of basketball, my guest tonight is an absolute legend from the basketball program. I was just telling him off air. He's probably, I won't even say probably, he is my all-time favorite basketball player from Georgia State. So I'm so excited to have him on, and that is none other than Malik Benlevi. All my listeners probably don't need too much of an introduction for Malik. He was a legend when he was there, as I said. We all remember those big shots in tournament play and against Georgia and Alabama. So we'll get into it in the interview a little bit, but first, Malik, it's again, it's just an honor to have you on. Thank you so much, man. And how's everything been going?
Hey man, thank you, man. It's a pleasure being on, man. Everything's been going great. Can't complain. Shout out to the Panther family, man. I miss y'all. Love y'all. Much love, much respect.
Oh yeah, Panther family still loves you, man. So we'll go ahead and get into it, man. This first question is a question that everybody gets on the show here. So especially some of you alumni that come on, I'm super intrigued to hear your answer because you not only have experienced the entire career, but you now have the perspective of being a little older and a little further away from it. So, what was your favorite part of being a Georgia State student athlete?
To be honest, just the love that you get. So so much love, like the fans. That was the biggest thing for me. Like they give you so much love. So I appreciate it because I'm a people person and I like being around people that brings good energy. So that was the biggest thing. Like the fans, they just give you that love, and I love it so much. So that's the biggest thing for me.
Okay, okay. Hey man, I gotta say, like I said, I ask everybody that question. You're the first person to say the fans, man. So I'm gonna speak for the Panther family and say thank you, man. We do we love our basketball team and it's that's thank you, man. Thank you. Um yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So like I said, that's not an answer I've normally gotten, but it's good to hear that we are appreciated. So I love that. What is your best memory of being one? I know you probably have, a few, so you don't really have to pick, I guess, quote unquote, your best one. But what are some memories that come to mind? Maybe a road trip or one of the tournament trips or something like that. What's your best memory?
My best memory probably would be, one of those two championships, conference championship. Those are my favorite, of course. And then, just the Alabama game, it really meant a lot to me because Mitch, he's like one of my closest friends, Devin Mitchell. Me and him still talk like almost every day now. So that's like my brother. So us being able to beat them for him, it meant a lot to me. So that's one of my favorite memories of all time playing at Georgia State.
I love it, man. I love it. I've actually had Devin on the show in the past, so that's awesome to hear you guys are still in touch like that, man. That's awesome. You guys are both legends in your own right when it comes to Georgia State athletics. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So now the next question, we'll go back the timeline a little bit for Mr. Malik Benlevi. And you grew up in Savannah, Georgia. It sounds like you were a stud in all three sports you played, which were basketball, football, and track, but ultimately had your most success in basketball. You won Player of the Year and a state title, and obviously, came to Georgia State as a basketball player. But when did it hit you the basketball was your strongest skill set? And how did you go about making that decision to kind of just focus on basketball?
So it actually hit me like the end of my junior year at high school. We lost in the Final Four, and I was like pretty much like still trying to decide whether I was going to play football the next year. I had a lot of offers coming in from basketball. I wasn't really hearing that much from football, but it was a lot of interest. So I was like, I don't know. And then it just came down to it. I was like, I think I'm gonna just get a football the rest because like my heart wasn't really in it. Like I didn't love it as much as I love basketball. But that was the main reason. Like the love just wasn't there for football. So
Okay.
that's choosing basketball. But a lot of people tell me I was actually better at football than basketball.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I,
What
I,
position were you in football?
I was a wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
So
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Either tight end or wide receiver. So.
a lot of I should be playing on Sundays. So a lot.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Hey, ultimately, man, I guarantee you made the right decision, man. So, but that's awesome. I'm asking because with guys like yourself who were so good at so many different sports, you have to make a decision at such a young age. I feel like that has to be kind of, just a tough decision. So,
Right.
thank you for sharing that. Um, so, so when it came to football, you kind of hung up the cleats on that, focused on basketball. Was it did you notice you got better at basketball in a way? Like you were like, now that I'm fully focused on one sport, I feel like I'm thriving in a little bit more.
Yes, of course. Like I feel like my game went to the next level because I was actually more focused on basketball. So I was putting in more work on the court instead of like putting work in football and basketball. So I was just focused on basketball, which I ended up having a great senior year, coming back and winning the state championship. So I feel like I did get better, a lot better actually.
Oh, I think the proof's in the pudding, man. You went from Final Four your junior year, then state championship your senior year. So I think you did get a little bit better there, my man.
Right.
Uh, so so now we'll move on a little bit down the timeline. Now you're getting to Atlanta. You've obviously been recruited by Coach Hunter and his staff. You did see a good amount of time your freshman year, but you became a primary starter in your sophomore year, and produced at a high level right away. What did it feel like making that transition to a starter? And did it kind of change your approach to the game at all now that you were getting bigger minutes?
So my freshman year, I came in with like a chip on my shoulder. So I at first I thought I was like, all right, I'm good enough to play here. I should be playing a lot of minutes, which was crazy of me to think that because we had a lot of good guys in our program, like Marcus Crowder, TJ Shipes, Jeremy Hollowell, Kevin Ware, Isaiah Dennis, Isaiah Williams. We was loaded. So, but I thought I was talented enough to play my freshman year. So I just got a couple of, I think I ended up making like one or two starts. So that was pretty good. But then like I kind of hit this freshman wall, just got stoned for it, got cold for me. So, and then I remember like we had an exit meeting after my freshman year. And shout out to Coach Hunter because he really motivated me. He brought me into his office and he was like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Whether you start next year is on you. I'm gonna put the ball in your court. He was a 19% 3-point shooter. And he was like, that can't be you. You gotta get better. You gotta shoot it better. So he put that bug in my ear. It was like, all right, it's time to put in a lot of more work this summer. So, which I did. Me and Isaiah Williams, we was getting up like 8 o'clock in the morning to go put up jump shots, just getting reps up. So Coach Hunter putting that in my ear actually like pushed me like, all right, it's time to make a leap your sophomore year. So which I actually did. I shot maybe like 43, 44 from the three. And he just motivated me, all right, it's time to be better. Like, I'm gonna need you and I need you to step up. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. No, that's great coaching right there. He knew you had the skill set, and he was like, "I'm gonna give you the keys, man. It's up to you whether or not you're a starter." I like that. I like that. That's a savvy move by Coach Hunter right there. So that's cool, man. That's cool. And yeah, like you said, and I was kind of getting at too. You once you were a starter, you started producing at a high clip, man. So going from 19% to 43 or 44, whichever one it is, we'll say 44. I mean that's obviously I'm no mathematician, but that's more than doubling it. So that's all
Right.
that's pretty solid right there, man. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, cool. So now I guess I gotta preface this next question. I noticed I think Coach Hunter was good about scheduling. Um, I know these early season challenges don't happen overseas or out of the country as often as they used to maybe before COVID, but I saw 3 years in a row we went out of the country. So my next question, you and the rest of the Panthers went down to Cancun your sophomore year for the Cancun Challenge and actually won both games. I know Cancun is always fun, but winning has to make it a little bit better. How was that trip, and what are some of your favorite memories from it?
The trip was great actually, but it was kind of bittersweet because like we had lost to Purdue right before we went there. And I feel like we should have won that game. So there was a lot of Purdue fans down there. I was like, oh man, we thought y'all were gonna beat us. I got tired of hearing that. I was like, we really should have won the game. So I got tired of hearing like, oh y'all was right there. Y'all should have beat us. So it was cool though. Like and we went on to win. Then we played East Kentucky, I think.
I believe that's right. Mm-hmm.
We ended up playing them, beat them, and I forgot who else we played out there. NJIT, I think, I
Uh-huh.
believe so.
Yep.
So we both of them. It was a great feeling, and the best memory I have, it was me and Jeremy. He was my roommate, and we used to just go down there, and just sit by the pool, and just drink a whole bunch of smoothies, and just like that was my big brother. So like I pretty much talked to him about anything when we was together as roommates. So he pretty much like schooled me, taught me everything. So just spent a lot of time with Jeremy. We ended up going to the steakhouse, just talking and stuff like that. So yeah.
Love it, man. I love it. Those are what those trips are all about, man. It's all those, those small moments, like you said, like you just said, your favorite memory is sitting by the pool drinking smoothies, so I love it, man. I love it. As I mentioned though, you kind of went on a couple trips there. So was that trip or the one to the Cayman Islands 2 years later? Which one was better? Which one was ultimately, and I don't mean necessarily on the court because we can go back and look at the results. I mean,
Yeah.
like, was the weather, was the food nicer in Cancun, or was it Cayman Islands that kind of takes the cake when it came to the full experience?
The full experience, I think it goes to Cancun because it was like all inclusive. So we really
Okay,
didn't,
okay, there you go, there you go.
we were just chilling. Everything's pretty much free. So, but the Cayman Islands, we beat Georgia. So that was the best part of that one. We beat University of Georgia. So that was a great trip as well.
I love it, man. I love it. My next question is about Georgia, but I gotta ask before we get into that one. You don't have to tell me the truth, but there's a lot of speculation amongst the Panther family that I cannot remember who we played before Georgia, but gosh,
Creighton.
Creighton, that's right. That's right. There's a lot of speculation that that game was a little thrown by the Panthers. So that
I'm gonna
we
keep. I'll shut on that one. But let's
Okay,
say
okay,
he
okay,
was
okay.
he was excited to play Georgia. I'm just gonna say that.
All right, all right. Okay, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. I respect it. I respect it. But yeah, man, like I said, next question kind of about that game. Speaking of the Cayman Islands, you put up 24-7 against a Georgia squad in a win for the Panthers. I mean, how good did it feel to have such a good game and get a win over them? And was there any revenge or, for lack of a better term there, that you wanted to get on them for not recruiting you out of high school?
It was great. The game was great. Like I had one of my little buddies, my little brother, Monty. He was a freshman at Georgia during that time. So we was talking trash throughout the year, man. We gonna beat y'all. I was telling him like we gonna beat y'all. Like so, and then me just having a good game. It was a perfect time for that game. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that's the best. I think that's the best shot I shot from three my whole career. 8 for 11, I think. All my points came off threes. So it was just cool. Right? We just went out with that swagger, like, all right, we've been waiting on this for like, because we was like, we wanted to play them, Georgia Tech, and stuff like that. We want to get through the whole Georgia. So we the best team in Georgia. So that's the biggest thing. So we just went out there, we played hard, and then like I didn't have no kind of like beef towards them, animosity towards them because they didn't recruit me because like I felt like I was at the better school anyway. So I didn't feel no type of way about it.
I
Like
love it, man. No,
I know SEC and stuff like that, but like I feel like I was at the better school anyway. So I think Georgia State was the best fit for me.
oh yeah. No, man, you're exactly right. In the state of Georgia, when it comes to men's D1 college basketball, there is no better program in the last 12 years than Georgia State. So you and people like you and all these other legends, man, helped build that. So no, you definitely picked the better one for sure. And speaking of that, my next question is kind of going over how amazing you were and how great these teams were that you were a part of. You helped lead the Panthers to back-to-back Sun Belt tournament championships and obviously two trips to the NCAA tournament. What did it mean to you guys to accomplish such an amazing feat? And what would you say was the most difficult part of that journey?
Uh, it felt pretty good for us, just because we all had a common goal, like to win the championship. So we just got together. It's like, hey, we got to find a way to do this because my junior year, we were struggling towards the end of the season, and we was like, man, like we don't know what's going on. We just can't put it together right now. And then we ended up going to the conference tournament, and we didn't trail like not one single second the whole conference tournament my junior year. So we just locked in and just bonded together. It's like, hey, we're gonna go get this. And then the hardest thing about it was just repeating. Like the bounties on our head now. Like everybody wanted a piece of it. So after winning the first year, we was like, all right, it's gonna be much harder to do it again. And then we had another thing in the back of our head, like, all right, we want to be the first team to repeat. We was the first team to repeat. So we was like, all right, we got something to push forward to. We got something to achieve. We got a goal we want to achieve. We want to be the first team in Georgia State to repeat, which we actually did. So it was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, no, it was very much fun, man. Very much fun. No, that was like you said, when you're trying to repeat, you got that target on your back,
Right.
man. And I can just imagine, dude. Everyone's giving you their best shot every single night, especially once the tournament comes along, the conference tournament. I mean, I'm sure dudes were ooh, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was hard. I'm sure it was hard. Um, so yeah, so the you make the NCAA tournament, and the back-to-back years. Uh, Ended up not going to win either one. That's okay though. Doesn't really matter. For schools like Georgia State, making to the tournament is such a huge accomplishment in itself. But what road trip ended up being a better memory? Like kind of like we were saying with the Cayman Islands and the Cancun. Like when you look back on it, you're like, you know what, that road trip was still pretty fun, and like we still had a good time. Like, which one do you look back on a little more fondly than the other?
Uh, to be honest, I don't know. Like we, we had a lot of good road trips. So this when we went to Spain for the summer, it was pretty cool. Like we got there, we was out there for like a week, and I think that helped us grow a lot because that was going into my senior year. So we just coming off a championship. So we pretty much like, all right, how can we be better? And I think that helped a lot because we actually played against some guys that were pros in Spain. So that helped us a lot, and I think it helped us bond even more because we had a couple of new guys coming in too. So it just helped us bond. Like we had Damon Wilson coming in, so us getting to play that summer, which helped us more. So
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I love it. I love it. No, like I was saying, Coach Hunter had you guys on a lot of trips, man. So he knew what he was doing when it came to that. He knew there was a lot of bonding experience that happens on those things. So last question about your time at Georgia State. And just, gotta give you a little bit of flowers here with this next question. With a guy who has so many accomplishments and accolades from Georgia State, example, third all-time in wins, second all-time in games played, six all-times in threes made, two Sun Belt championships. Which one do you ultimately kind of means the most? And again, it doesn't have to, most or not necessarily the most, just which one, when you think about your time at Georgia State, which one kind of comes to your memory or thought that you're kind of proud of the most?
the wins for sure.
The wins? I love it. I love it.
I love it. Like just being labeled as a winner. Like that's the biggest thing. So I think you said I'm second in wins, maybe
Yes. No,
second,
third all time in wins. Third all time in
third.
wins. Yeah.
That's a great accomplishment for me. So that lets everybody know that when I came there, I was winning.
Hell yeah, you were. Hell yeah, you were. We were winning at a high clip back then, man. I remember. I think it was last season. I tweeted out something from my account. I was like, "Man, this is not Georgia State basketball." And you
Yeah,
you responded, you're like, "It is not." And I was like, "We got a legend saying that over here." So yeah, no, it's you guys definitely set quite the standard when you guys were here for sure.
right.
Um, so now that we wrapped up your time at Georgia State, got one question about your time after Georgia State. So I know you've played overseas a little bit. Now most recently playing up in Canada. How has that just kind of been playing overseas and internationally like that? What has been your just some of the lessons that you've learned along the way and some of the memories and friends that you've made?
Yeah, so it's all about adapting. Like you gotta adapt and adjust. So like you go into these different places, they got different cultures and stuff like that. So you just gotta find a way to adapt. And that's the biggest thing. And so far my favorite place really is Canada. Like I love it in Canada. And they love me out there. So it's a lot of fun. And it's so smooth out there. Like I love Canada a lot. Like the people are so nice, so genuine. So I appreciate them a lot. Like every time I got a chance to, I'm gonna go play in Canada for sure. So yeah, I love it in Canada for sure. And it's just like, just better in your game. So like a lot of places you go, you can learn a lot from different people because you got different coaches and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing. Like I was blessed to have an American coach, and I was just in Finland, but he's finished now, so he done been over there while he done married a Finnish lady. So he's pretty much like fully adapted to it. So it just going over there, learning stuff like that, how they live, stuff like that, and just just adjusting and adapting to everything.
Okay. I love it, man. That's the best mindset you can have in a situation like that, right? So I love it, man. I love it. I know I feel like you were kind of hinting at, are we gonna see you in Saskatchewan again next season?
Oh, that's the plan. Hopefully.
Okay, okay. Hey man, I don't know if I'm up in that part too often, but if I ever am, I guarantee you I'll be at a game.
Yes.
Guarantee. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Sweet. So I like to sandwich the interviews with questions that everybody gets. So this last one, you may have to go back in time a little bit, and I will let you know with your answer. You can use what you would currently play or what you would play back in the day. But the whole team is on the bus, coaches included, and you got the aux cord for the next about 3 hours.
Next,
What kind of music, artist, or whatever is Malik Benlevi going to play? And I normally say for the newer kids, I'll say what kind of podcast, but I don't think podcasts were too big of a thing back in that day. So,
yeah.
so what kind of music and artists would you be playing for the team bus there?
So for the team bus, I'll probably start off with some Kodak
Okay,
Black.
okay,
And then I'll probably switch to like some NBA Young Boy for sure. And then I'll throw some Drake in there, Future for sure. Some Kevin Gates. And then I'll throw in some like 21 Savage,
ooh, okay, okay.
One Savage going Little Baby. And that's really about it. Like I'll just rotate through that.
All right, there you go. There you go. Nah, man, I love asking that question. I got to say with your answer, one, NBA YoungBoy is hands down the number one answer I get. I swear, like if I've asked that question 30 times, 27 of the answers have been NBA YoungBoy. So got to give him my shout out to YoungBoy. He is very very popular. And naming the Atlanta rappers, man. I love, that's part of Georgia State, man. That's, the culture of Atlanta, so that's awesome. And 21 Savage is definitely one of my favorites. I don't know if you saw the trailer, not to get out off topic, of the new
I
movie.
did. Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to watch it though.
yeah, yeah. So it's that should be good, man. That should be good. Now we're getting a little bit too off topic. So let me get us back on track, and I will go ahead and get you out of here on that, Malik. Thank you so much for giving me some time, man. It was such a pleasure getting to know you more. I'll definitely have to stay in touch. And honestly, man, I'd love to have. I've been talking to Devin about it years ago. I just haven't planned it, but get you, Devin, DeMarcus, like all these guys on one episode and do like a Zoom call together. Like I think that would just be so fun. So
Do that for sure.
oh yeah. So I'll get that set up. And as always, man, thank you so much for coming on. And Panther family, be on the lookout for more. And as always, thank you for the support. Malik, my man, have a wonderful rest of your night, and go Panthers.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, man.